Okay, so here's the thing we're not considering.
Okay.
We're always like, Selena can't be the best assassin. What if all the other assassins legitimately suck?
Here we are back for another chapter. Chapter 26 it should be, because we just read 25, so I sure hope it's 26.
Oh, man. Just you wait.
So, let's dive right in. We're almost done with part 1. Chaol hated hunting parties. Well, then why does he do stuff with the hounds that are the hunting hounds? Many of the lords could barely handle a bow, let alone be stealthy. Oh, wait, it's Dorian who does stuff with the hounds, not Chaol.
Oh, this is Chaol?
Yeah. I already said Dorian.
You know what I don't like?
What?
When they're like, yeah, everyone else is just so lame compared to like, yeah, they can barely hold a bow. They can't be stealthy. So it's like, well, obviously you hate hunting parties when everyone else like ruins the hunt. You know? I feel like you could have it could be more nuanced, so interesting to be like, this is a really good hunting party. I don't enjoy it. Why doesn't he enjoy it? What's going on specifically aside from everyone else sucking at hunting?
Yeah.
God forbid Sour J. Maas
It
ever
was
do something
painful
I like.
to watch them, Imdash, and the poor hounds bursting through the brush, trying to scatter game that the lords would miss anyway. The hounds having the time of their life, Chaol. Don't worry. This is literally what they've been waiting for, okay? Calm down. Usually, just to get things over with, he would discreetly kill a few animals and then pretend Lord so-and-so had done it. But the King, Parrington, Roland, and Dorian were all out in the game park today, which meant he had to keep close to them. Whenever he rode close enough to the lords to overhear their laughing and gossiping and harmless scheming, he sometimes let himself wonder if that was how he would have wound up had he not chosen this path. He hadn't been his younger brother, and he hadn't seen his younger brother in years. Why does he care? He hates his younger brother. Had his father allowed Terran to turn into one of these idiots? Or had his father sent him to train as a warrior, as all lords of Aniele had done in the centuries after the wild mountain men had preyed upon the city on the Silver Lake? As Chaol trailed behind the king, his new Asturian stallion, earning many admiring and envious glances from the hunting party.
So they come pre-trained?
Yes, of course.
Naturally.
Why would the king get his guard captain an untrained stallion?
You know, that's actually true.
That's dangerous.
Prince, by the way. And
what did I say king?
that's like, who gives a
shit?
I'll do you one. Who give a shit?
Chaol allowed himself to consider Imdash for one heartbeat, what his father would make of Selena. His mother was a gentle, quiet woman whose face had become a blurred memory in the years since he'd last seen her, because he doesn't care about her really. But he still remembered her lilting voice and soft laugh, and the way she'd sung him to sleep when he was ill. Even though their marriage had been arranged, his father had wanted someone like his mother. Imdash, someone submissive.
Did it say that?
Yes. Wow, you've done a lot of pages.
I've done 3.
That's more than I was expecting from one night. Submissive and readable.
And he's like literally just disrespecting his mom, which I guess is fine, because if you're like, man, my mom's just so submissive, that can maybe make it kind of a messed up household sometimes, I reckon.
Very easily, yes.
Yeah. Man, he doesn't like anyone. Does he like any woman except Selena?
No.
Does he like any man except Dorian?
No. I mean, he didn't specifically, deride his mother for being submissive. He just definitely, he's like, I don't remember her face. She'd sing to me, though.
I remember she was derisive.
Which meant that someone like Selena, ellipsis, he cringed to even consider his father and Selena in the same room. Cringed and then smiled, because that was a battle of wills that could go down in legend. You're distracted today, Captain, the king said as he emerged from between the trees. He was massive. The king's size alone surprised Chaol for some reason.
He's getting bigger.
He's getting bigger.
Oh my goodness, he's like that guy from The Tick.
Oh my goodness.
The very large VLM. He's becoming the VLM.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
What's the element that does that?
Big bismuth.
Big bismuth. Bismuth. Big bismuth.
Man, I can't wait to watch. Oh, we have book club someday.
Alas.
Saturday, maybe. Next Sunday.
He was massive. He was flanked. My question is, why are they out here hunting?
Middle game?
Well,
I'm assuming it's still winter.
Right? Wait. Also, when they said the king came out, I was like, so he's on foot? Then I was like, why are they hunting on foot? And then I was like, why is Kale on his horse if everyone else is on foot? Which it really kind of sounds like, because it talks about them blundering around, which is like, are they hunting on foot? What?
I mean,
bizarre.
If Kale's being like more of a security position, I could see in a way like people would be on foot, but he's still on a horse, you know.
But why would they hunt on foot?
But why would
I mean, I say this coming from a very much imagining
Downton Abbey,
and like other things I know of what's going on. Hunts on horseback.
Well, I guess like grouse hunts.
I guess they are walking on grouse hunts, but you're also like standing there.
But you get into a position and the dogs chase out the prey.
Mm-hmm. The beautiful dogs. Okay. Where was I? He was flanked by 2 of Kale's guards,
Massive.
One of which was Ress. Oh, yeah.
Ress, my little twink.
He looked more nervous than triumphant at being selected to protect the king today, though he was trying his hardest not to show it. It was why Kale had also chosen Danon, the other guard. Look, I could assume that Danon was the other guard. You didn't need to say the other guard. Older and weathered and possessing near legendary patience, Kale bowed to his sovereign and then gave Russ a slight nod of approval. The young guard sat up straighter. You know what? What?
Oh, so he wasn't already sat up straight in the presence of his king?
No. He can sit up even straighter.
You can always sit up straight.
You can always. Okay, just give it a second and you can sit up straighter. You're not even giving it a second. The young guard sat up straighter, but remained alert. Why do you have to say but remained alert? Imdash is focused now upon their surroundings, the lords riding nearby, so they are riding.
Okay.
And yet they're blundering. I don't know. Blame the horses, dude.
Well, I'm sure you like...
The sounds of dogs and arrows.
Pew, 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 pew.
The king pulled his black horse alongside Kale's, falling into a meandering walk. I don't know, I wouldn't call what horses do a meandering walk. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my sketch bag.
Let me get it for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anyways, I've seen horses walk on various things. I'm not exactly an equestrian.
Surely,
I wouldn't ever describe a horse walking as meandering.
It seems like they usually walk more with purpose.
Yeah.
Like they'll go in to get that grass.
It's just meandering is like too.
Yeah, it's just kind of going around and mingling. Maybe they meander a little bit, like if they're just in a herd grazing, you know? Maybe, but I don't think...
An individual horse, I don't feel like I would describe their movement as a meandering walk.
Yeah.
It's my opinion. Russ and Danon fell back. I say Danon because there's 2 N's in the middle. So I'm emphasizing the N, so it doesn't feel forgotten. Fell back a respectful pace, still close enough to intercept any lurking threat.
Man, is there no
Whatever
safety?
will my lords do without you to kill their quarry for them? Atop his warhorse, why is he riding his warhorse? I don't think the warhorse is necessarily trained as a hunter. But okay, you gotta do something. There's no other horse.
He believes in efficiency. 1 horse.
1 horse. For all occasions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty amazing horse. Atop his warhorse, the king looked every inch the conqueror he was. There was something in his eyes that sent a chill down Kale's spine, Imdash, and made him realize why so many foreign rulers had offered him their crowns instead of facing him in battle. I am having the Princess of Elware questioned in my council room tomorrow night, the king said quietly enough that only Kale could hear, turning his stallion to follow after the pack of hounds that rushed through the thawing woods. I want 6 men outside the room. Make sure there are no complications or interruptions. The look the king gave him suggested exactly the sort of complication he had in mind. Selena. Could have also been a colon there. Chaol knew it was a risk to ask questions, but he said, "Is there anything specific that I should prepare my men for?" "No," the king said, knocking an arrow to his bow and firing at a pheasant that surged up from the brush. A clean shot, right through the eye.
I wonder, I mean, I don't know anything about pheasant hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you usually do it during the winter one. It seems like they'd be skinny.
Well, they're not doing this to eat them. They just felt like having a hunt.
Oh, you know, that's true.
They make dog chow with it. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know when is the best time for pheasant hunting. I want to say the fall.
You know what? I'll look it up.
Yeah, you look it up while we keep going. Right through the eye. That will be all. The king whistled to his hounds. I don't know, I feel like they should have like a hunt master who controls the hounds, and followed after the prey he'd killed. Russ and Dannon close behind. Chaol stilled his stallion. What does it say? Is it
says
late winter?
Mid-fall through early winter.
And this is into winter because they said it was thawing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no.
Not
Sorry.
surprised.
Chaol stilled his stallion. Watching the mountain of a man ride through the thicket. What was that about? Dorian said, suddenly beside him. Chaol shook his head. Nothing. Dorian reached over his shoulder to the quiver strapped there and drew an arrow. I haven't seen you for a few days. I've been busy. Busy with his duties and busy with Selena. I haven't seen you around either. He made himself meet Dorian's gaze. Dorian's lips were pursed, his face stony as he quietly said, I've been busy too. Busy looking up magic.
Uh-oh, the boys are fighting.
Oh, they're fighting. The crown prince turned his horse away, which is something I also don't like. I don't like, you've got a love triangle. I already probably am not going to like that. And then you're going to make two friends, like, stop being friends over a love interest? I don't like that either. The crown prince turned his horse away, heading in another direction, but paused.
Man, I'm trying so hard to think of, like, a bros before hoes without actually saying bros before hoes. I was like, friends before ends, meat before feet. Feet before meat? What does that even mean?
I'd bring up a lot of questions.
We were supposed to be to the death. We were feet before meat, bro. What?
What? Chaol, he said, looking over his shoulder. Dorian's eyes were frozen, his jaw clenched. Treat her well.
Man, the way I don't give a fuck.
Dorian, he started, but the prince rode off. So many people just, like, getting the last word in. Rode off to join Roland. Suddenly, alone in the teeming forest, Chaol watched his friend disappear. And with him, their friendship.
Bye-bye.
Chaol didn't tell Selena what the king had said, though part of him twisted until it hurt. The king wouldn't hurt Nehemia, not when she was such a public and well-liked figure, not when he'd warned Chaol about the anonymous threat to Nehemia's life.
This man's stupid as hell.
He is stupid as heck. But he had a feeling that whatever was going to be said in the council room wasn't going to be pleasant, like the pheasants. Selena, knowing or not knowing, made no difference, he told himself, as he lay curled against her in bed. Even if Selena knew, even if she told Nehemia, it wouldn't stop the conversation. Already keeping secrets.
And you're like, well, it's his job. It's like, obviously, he's like, I feel like I should tell her. But I'm not going to. I shan't.
Which isn't a terrible thing to see.
Yeah.
But they're also just like, my undying devotion and love for you.
The doom.
5 days later, after he's had his fill, I must take my duties first. Unless it involves paying attention at a guard meeting.
Take my duties before I take my ablutions. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Even if Selena knew, even if she told Nehemia, it wouldn't stop the conversation from taking place, and it wouldn't make the nameless threat go away. No, it would just make things worse if they knew. Worse for all of them. Chaos sighed, untangling his legs from Selena's as he sat up and grabbed his pants from where he'd thrown them on the floor. He's gonna dine and dash? She stirred but didn't move. That was a miracle in itself, he realized, that she felt safe enough to sleep soundly with him. I don't know, Kale, maybe you wore her out.
Maybe she's just tired. Have you considered?
He paused to gently kiss her head, then picked up the rest of his clothes from around the room and dressed, even though the clock had chimed only 3 not long ago. Perhaps it was a test, he thought, as he slipped out the door of his chambers. Perhaps the king was testing Kale to see where his loyalties lay.
Toxic work environment.
Someone call HR.
Oh, good heavens.
Oh, good heavens. No, I cannot read this. No.
This is a matter for HR.
This is a matter for HR. This is a matter for HR. Let's see, where was I? I got distracted with all my guffawing. That's not guffawing, but all my... It was a test if he could trust him. And if he learned that Selena and Nehemia were aware of the interrogation tomorrow, then there would be only one way for them to have learned, ellipsis. You did not need an ellipsis there.
When does she ever?
Well, sometimes it's not a complete thought.
Ellipsis, that's right. My best friend, the ellipsis. My beloved, the ellipsis.
Maas is just trying too hard to force a certain emotion into the reading of her book. Like, she could have been like, hey, audiobook narrator, I would like you to read with this emotion. But no, instead she's like, I want everyone, absolutely everywhere, to read it with this emotion. So I'm going to chock it full of interruptions and pauses and holds. And trailings off. Anyways, I don't like it.
Maybe everyone has ADHD. No complete thoughts, yo. Always something new.
No thoughts. No brain head empty.
Wait, before you get started, I gotta run the spray bottle. That's right, watercolors on the bed, a little bit risky.
Yeah, tell us about your fancy spray bottle.
It's used for hair styling, and it has like this cool pump action, so it does a continuous misting. Kind of overkill if you're asking me, but it was a gift. And I like it a lot. Yeah, functionally probably overkill, but have you considered I like it?
And it was a gift. He just needed some fresh air to fill the briny breeze of the Avery on his face. The Avery is briny? Yeah. I guess it's brackish.
The
Avery. The ocean is backflowing.
I totally thought they said Avery like the board house.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, I guess,
No. That would not be brackish.
Oh, maybe the boards are salty. Briny, maybe they're cooking pickles in now.
Oh my gosh. They're pickling squabs.
Oh my goodness.
He'd meant it when he told Selena about someday leaving Rifthold with her, and he'd go to his death defending her secret about the men she wasn't killing. He'd die for the men she didn't kill. Which is kind of funny. Kale reached the dark silent gardens and strolled through the hedges, meeting a hedgehog.
Really?
No. I just saw hedge and I thought of hedgehog.
Hedgehog cute.
Hedgehog cute.
Man, hedgehog mean.
Oh. The hedgehog's wearing headgear. He'd kill any man who hurt Selena. That was an abrupt change.
He loves violence.
And if the king ever gave him the order to dispatch her, then he'd plunge his sword into his own heart before he would obey. It's quite hard. Takes some serious dedication.
Don't tell your mother.
Die for each other.
Die for each other.
His soul was bound to hers by some unbreakable chain. He snorted, imagining what his father would think when he learned that Kale had taken Aderlin's assassin for his wife. Yo aren't even proposing yet.
You haven't even talked about marriage.
Yeah.
Man.
What if she just wants to live in fornication with you?
Yeah.
Consider that, Kale? No, because you're used to assuming that the wife will be submissive once you have her.
Yeah, because of your mother.
The thought stopped Kale dead in his tracks. She was only 18. He forgot that sometimes. Forgot that he was older than her, too.
She's just so mature for her age.
Yeah. And if he asked her to marry him right now, ellipsis? Gods above, he muttered, shaking his head. That day was a long way off. It's weird for them to be like, oh, 18's too young to get married. That's like a weird thing to throw in here.
It's like fantasy. That's not that surprising. No, what am I saying? Yeah, too young to get married.
Given like the rest of the book, it's just like, what? That's a line we're drawing? Okay. Anyways, 2 more paragraphs. But he couldn't help imagining it, Dash, the glimmer of the future, and how it would be to forge a life together, to call her his wife, to hear her call him husband, to raise a brood of children who would probably be far too clever and talented for their own good, and for Kale's sanity. He would still envision that impossibly beautiful future when someone... He was still envisioning that impossibly beautiful future when someone grabbed him from behind and pressed something cold and reeking against his nose and mouth, and the world went black. Got himself ethered.
Don't tell your mother. Look, I did one little drawing.
That's a good question. Did they have... This is, once again, narrowing down our time frame, because we've got pocket watches... they've got kid gloves, and now they have something sort of, like, that can knock you out. I don't know if it's ether. I'm not sure if there was something around before ether. Like, when was chloroform, when was ether? But I need to figure out the time frame for that. And, like, was there something around before then that you could knock someone out with? I kind of feel like not, like, reliably, because I feel like it would have been used in medicine if they had something that was, like, something you, like, a fluid that would... aerosolize and turn into a gas, and you could knock someone else out with it. Medicine would jump all over that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the end of the chapter, by the way. So there was my takeaway was the whole ether conversation we just had.
Fine chapter, nothing passion inspiring.
Yeah, just things that are easy to gripe about because we don't particularly like it, and we don't like this book, so it's a lot easier to point out and complain about rather than going, no, I'll let it pass because I'm enjoying the story. Yeah. So, once again, 2 short chapters. 3 more to go until we're done with part 1 of the never-ending saga, The Eternal Triangle. I will be next time playing the pot of Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse?
Dang, if anybody gets that reference, kudos.
Toodles! I didn't even get that reference.
It's Tom Lear.